What is the most important thing that you can bring with you during a physical pen test? A black team, a red team, a purple team engagement, whatever you want to call it. Is it the grappling hook? Is it the lockpicks? Is it the latex mask? Is it the flipper zero? No, it's the escape clause. What is an escape clause? Simple. An escape clause is a thing that you use, the excuse that you're going to use to get out of an awkward situation when you get caught. Fundamentally, think of it like an extra life in a video game. If you decide tomorrow that you're going to play the game Dark Souls, well, the thing that makes that game playable for 99.9% of people is the idea that you can try again. If Dark Souls was set up such that every time you died, you had to start the game completely over, 99.9% of people are not going to play that game. You just wouldn't. It'd be too frustrating. The escape clause is fundamentally just like that. The better you are at talking your way out of an awkward situation when you get caught, the more chances you get, the extra lives that you have. And that's it. Now, escape clauses, a good escape clause, has two parts to it. One, you can get out of the situation. Okay, if you find that you are, inside the board of directors VIP meeting room, planting a bug behind the big TV when the C-suite, when the board of directors walks into the room and catches you, well, you could just dive out the window and you've escaped that situation. Fine, but that's, one, you can never come back. Two, the jig is up, everybody knows something bad was happening. And three, hopefully you're not dead. The second part of a good escape clause is you have to be able to return. So, a far better situation, a way to handle that, would have been to impersonate the IT repairman or an employee who's fixing the TV or some derivative thereof. You may have even gone a little bit ahead of time, or thought ahead of time, and printed up some fake work order that said, oh yeah, this TV had been having some issues or it was on the fritz and it was really important that I fix this before your guys' meeting, so I had to come down here immediately and do X, Y, or Z. Now, it's going to come down to how good are you at selling that story. But having a good escape clause is what actually gets you that extra life. It's what actually allows you to return and try again. So your client may pay for you for 2 weeks during an engagement. The first week you're going to be spending doing recon. The second week you're going to be spending trying to break in based on what you found. Fine. But if you get caught on day 2 or 3 doing short range or embedded recon and you have a terrible escape clause, well, then that's it. The game's over. The jig's up, at least part of the way. Now, oftentimes you can say, hey, okay, you caught me. Here's my get out of jail letter. Fine. But what often happens is that the employee is going to tell everybody they know what the hell's going on, even if you tell them not to. That's just the way that humans are. So in a lot of ways, the jig is up. Now everybody's on guard. Everybody's looking out for you, and it becomes infinitely more difficult. Now, the other part that's really important to understand about escape clauses is that there has to be a lot of them. Or another way of looking at it is they have to be mutatable. So, for an example, if you are doing short-range recon, you're moving around the building, trying to get photographs or an idea of the layout, the entrances and exits, the alarm systems that you can see, maybe looking in through windows, maybe looking for the alarm company that they're running, etc. You're moving around the building without going inside, getting as close as you can. And your cover story is that you're walking a dog, right? Maybe you have a dog and you're, out for the walk. If an employee comes out or a guard or whoever and they say, hey, I've noticed you walking around the building. Who are you? What's going on? Well, you can easily say, oh, I just moved in across the street. I'm walking my dog. He has to pee like 20 times a day because he's got a bladder infection. It's really annoying. Sorry. That might be an excellent opportunity for you to do a little elicitation, develop an asset, whatever. But that's a perfectly reasonable way of getting out of that situation and then returning because, well, your dog needs to pee, your dog has a bladder infection, whatever, he's going to be coming out 20 times a day. Fine, right? Now that employee expects to see you and they understand why you're there. That's a perfectly legitimate escape clause. But if a week later you're inside the building and a different employee comes to you and says, hey, dude, I haven't seen you before. Who are you? You can't turn around and say, oh, I moved in across the street. My dog has a bladder infection. We're just out for a walk. He's right there. That doesn't work anymore. Now suddenly you need a very different escape clause. So your escape clause has to be something that mutates over time. It has to be something that you can change as you move through the building. The easiest way to set this up is step 1, when you're running a pen test. Identify all the vulnerabilities that you can see. Step 2, chain certain vulnerabilities into a route. Then step 3, test that route for its viability. After, of course, ranking all the routes that you found, starting with the most likely to succeed. As an example, during reconnaissance, you discover that employees are wearing their badges outside the office. That's a bad idea because you can then figure out what the lanyard looks like, you can figure out what the badge holder looks like, you can figure out what the badge looks like, and you can copy all of it, whether or not the actual badge is clonable. 2, you notice at 9 a.m. when the employees come in, there's a lot of tailgating that goes on. This is super common, right? One guy badges in, 10 people funnel into the building after him. Okay, fine. So that's another vulnerability, the tried and true tailgating. Vulnerability 3, you find that like most buildings, they're running some variation of front-heavy security. What is front-heavy security? Well, all the security bottlenecks are usually at the front and rear entrance. And that's about it. So you have one checkpoint, you have one barrier to entry. Once you've passed that one PAC system or that one reception's desk or one whatever it is, everybody who's beyond that point is assumed to be allowed to be inside the building. I mean, how else did you get this far inside? Okay. So these are the vulnerabilities that you've discovered right off the bat. Their employees are wearing badges outside, so you can copy exactly what they look like down to the lanyard and the badge. You could tailgate in at 9 in the morning, and once you're past that first PAC system or that first barrier of entry, there's no more security through the building. Okay, fine. So that's a route, right? That's a hypothetical route, and let's say for whatever reason that's the route that you're going to pick. So you go in. It's 9 in the morning, you've dressed just like an employee, you're walking in. But now what happens if the employee actually stops you? What's the escape clause? How are you getting out of that? Let's say that you were walking into the building and the employee that you're tailgating turns around and is like, I've never seen you before. Who are you? You need to badge in. Okay, how are you handling that situation? What is the way that you're getting out of that? Option 2. You're approaching the building and you kind of suck at MS Paint or whatever you use to, copy your badge. Hopefully it wasn't MS Paint, but who knows. And, it doesn't look the greatest. It's kind of off. It's kind of anybody who takes a good look at it, they're going to realize, hey, this isn't right. There's some things missing from this. And they stop you and say, hey, dude, who are you? Your badge doesn't look quite right. How are you getting out of that situation? What is your excuse? And again, you need to be able to get out of the situation and you need to be able to come back without any issues or questions. That's what an escape clause is. And this is why it's the most important thing that you can bring with you on a pen test. When you're running one of these pen tests, if you're really, really good at lockpicking, but there's no opportunity for you to use it on the engagement, okay, didn't matter to you. If you're really terrible at building scaling, you couldn't do a pull-up to save your life, but there's a fire escape that if you could climb up it, you could get up to the server room or the board of directors rooms because there's an open window right there. But since you can't climb up, doesn't matter. There's a lot of things that may or may not matter. There's a lot of things that you may be able to do, may not. Maybe it's outside of your skill set, maybe it's outside of scope, maybe your team lead or your company says, yeah, you're not climbing buildings because we're not risking you falling. Whatever it is. But the thing is that the one thing that you will always need is a way of getting out of the bad situation if something goes wrong. So the most important thing that you could possibly bring with you during a physical pen test is your escape clause.